Thank you for joining us at ShipRaiders.com. Today we're going to talk the PSAC Women's Swimming Championships that are going to take place later this week in York. We're joined by head coach Tim Verge. Coach Verge, thanks as always.
You're welcome.
First thing I want to ask you as we lead into the championships this weekend, it's been a lot of training, a lot of hard work for the women and for the men. Could you talk a little bit, though, about what the last couple of weeks, since you finished up the dual meet portions at Bucknell, or the invitational portions, could you talk about really what you emphasized these final couple of weeks of training heading into PSACs?
Sure. I think we just kind of fine-tuned some things, we haven't done as much, threshold and kind of longer swimming in the last couple of weeks. It's just been more putting a little bit more speed into some things and working on a few small details. I think those are really important for us. And in the past we've been in situations where we needed to finish some races better, and that's one thing that we've really talked about all year is finishing and getting to the wall well is what and not just fast, but timing the finish right and things like that. And so those are going to be important for us. We don't want to be in a situation we're missing big finals. We're 9th or we're 17th and just missing to get back. And it'll be tight. There's a lot of good teams on the women's side and some individuals even from programs that maybe don't have a lot of numbers there that are going to be good. And so we've been trying to work on those things, and I think we've done a pretty good job with them. So we just when we get in that situation and we're actually in a race environment, we've got to be able to kind of pull from that.
You sort of hinted at it a little bit in the sense of it seems like it's a very fascinating approach on the women's side this year, just in the sense that traditionally there's been a clear-cut favorite, so to speak, in terms of the team championship side of things. And I think it's safe to say that there necessarily is not a clear-cut team favorite this year on the women's side. Obviously, I know that creates, I would think, a lot of excitement just from the standpoint of, if everybody can do what they're capable of doing, their team could, make an impact or a statement at these championships for
Right.
Ship or whoever the team is. I think that seems to be an interesting dynamic, though, I think, this year.
Yeah, I think the meet's a little bit more wide open, certainly. I think that, some of the other teams that aren't, maybe traditionally a top 5 or 6 team, you have some teams that have, maybe typically been a, like a 5th through 8th, 5th through 9th team that, kind of where we have been, and maybe even some below that have some really good individuals. And, once you get in there, everybody can mix things up. It'll be really tight, and, it makes it fun. The relays will be exciting, and I just think the environment's always fun at that meet. I think even when traditionally teams have dominated and maybe kind of knew going in somebody was going to win, it's never really set anybody else back in terms of we're not going to step up and race or anything. I mean, everybody's always had some really good performances. I think kids just like to get up and be in that environment and realize, it's the culmination of a year and, here we go kind of thing. So it'll be exciting.
You sort of have a fascinating, I think, dynamic as well on the women's side. You have some veteran swimmers who are capable of very high-end performances, but you've also had a strong freshman class come in this year, and several of them are capable of high-end performances. And you have just a lot of swimmers as well, though, who are capable of making scoring impacts just as well here at this meet. Could you talk a little bit, though, about, over the course of a long season, the dynamic of that group coming together, young and old, but
Right.
all seemingly capable of, if they do their part, they can make an impact for you this week?
Sure. Yeah. We've had a lot of fun. It's been a fun freshman class. Not kind of keep me on my toes, and I think they've really gelled well together and well within the team. Our upper class girls have done a great job of assimilating them and kind of bringing them into the fold and sort of keeping them motivated. And so it's just been a great group of women. I mean, I've really enjoyed them, and they've worked tremendously hard. We've had some adversity with some people with some illnesses and some things like that, and I mean they've really just pushed through. There's no complaining. There's it's just this is kind of where we're at and what we're going to do, and it's just a kind of a mindset that we hope continues, and I hope really does a lot of positive things for us this week. They kind of go in with that same focus and mindset, and just enjoy each other and challenge each other, and kind of race within themselves. I think we'll be in good shape.
With that, you have the camaraderie, you have the work ethic that's been established too. When all's said and done, obviously I'm sure that the team has its goals, and you have your goals that you hope that your swimmers accomplish. When all's said and done, whether it's one specific thing or maybe a couple of key things, by the time the weekend starts to conclude, what are some of the things you hope that you will see out of your women's swimmers producing in the pool?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say on both sides. I mean, I've always felt like I just want us to go in and swim well. Ultimately the ideal thing would be that everybody comes out of the meet in every event with lifetime best times. I mean, you can't ask for any more than that. I think we've been pretty lucky in the past getting a very high number of those, and those are the things we can control. I mean, we can control how well we swim, and if we go in and we swim as well as we're capable of, and we get a lot of bests, wherever we finish, that's going to kind of do whatever. We've had some years where several ago we finished higher than maybe we have been recently, but we didn't swim that well, in terms of performances and people's best times and stuff. And so, I just think there's more of a satisfaction within the team when, they feel like, hey, we've really put a lot of work in. We came out here and it was a banner year for us, and everybody swam great, and we're leaving with great times, and that sort of thing. And we certainly want to finish high in the conference on both sides, and I think that we've got the type of team on the men and the women where if we do go in and swim a lot of lifetime bests, we're going to place pretty well. So that's kind of, I think, how we look at it moving forward.
It'll certainly be an exciting week, that's for sure. A lot of hard work obviously has gone into this point, so it'll be very exciting to see how it plays out. Coach Verge, thanks for taking the time as always.
You're welcome, thank you.
The 2015 PSAC Women's Swimming Championships, Thursday through Sunday in York. We encourage you to visit shipraiders.com for all of the recaps and coverage of the meet, and also visit us on Twitter at ShipURaiders for in-race updates and morning updates from the swimming championships.